Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So, working some more on ocean and the peacock's tail feathers, which, woohoo, that was the part I was most excited to get to. So, yeah, got a lot done. Yeah, I'm almost at 94,000 stitches. Like I said, I don't like making goals or estimates, but I will say I could probably reach 100,000 completed by the end of this month, but we'll see. If I don't, then I don't. Yeah. Just realized that thread looked a little funky, so there. All right. Yeah, hard to believe it's another month. And so far, it's actually been quite nice. We've been having days that are above freezing, so I can walk outside. Although I do have to watch my step because, yes, there are a lot of patches of ice. Yeah, it melts and the water goes across the sidewalk, then it drops below freezing and night freezes again. So yeah, I can't really walk at a steady pace for a lot of it because I have to be going slower over the ice or stepping over onto the snowbank so I don't walk on the ice because haven't fallen down yet though, knock on wood. So yeah, there is that. Goodness, that one is just not looking so great. Let's see if I can smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it got a little twisted up. There we go. Yeah, it was a beautiful sunny day this morning, so I went out for my walk. I startled the bunny, or I think he's the hare, snowshoe hare. Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's one of those, if he'd stayed still, I wouldn't even have noticed him. But yeah, as I walked by his hiding space, he bolted down the street. That's when I saw him. Yeah, he's all white and fluffy for the winter. And at least now for his sake, there's snow to hide in because, yeah, at the beginning of winter, it was very mild. Poor little guys were bright white against the grass. Yeah. Yeah, I had to wait till later in the day to do this stitching. The other day I tried to make a video, and when I went to edit it, I discovered that it was really blurry. And I think because I made it too early in the day and there wasn't enough good lighting. So yeah, like I had my crafting lamp on, but I guess there's no substitute for natural light. So yeah, kind of frustrating. So again, I may repeat myself, I'm not sure. Oh, pardon me, because it ended up being, yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, plus I was saying that maybe 100,000, but then I have to remember this is February, the shortest month. Although this year is a leap year, so it's a little bit longer. Yeah, they said the way to remember it is if the year is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year. And as it is 2024, yeah. Yeah, my sister was almost a leap year baby. Yeah, the year she was born. She missed it by like 3 hours or something, yeah. So. Fuzzy little bit there. Yeah, there was I saw a meme somebody had saying that we should, instead of 12 months, have 13 months that are exactly 3 weeks long. Or, I mean, 4 weeks long, sorry. Yeah, rather than this, some months have 30 days and some have 31. And yeah, which is, I mean, I guess might make more sense. But I think we've been doing it this way for so long, it'd be pretty hard to change that now. And where would you put that extra month? Would you put one after December or before January? Or yeah. Yeah. Well, we have to remember a lot of cultures used the lunar calendar too, so things are different. Yeah. My dad was saying that's why Easter wasn't always on the same date, right? Because yeah, it goes by the seasons and stuff. So yeah, some holidays are like that, right? Some are always the same, like Valentine's Day is always February 14, but then yeah, like Thanksgiving can change depending on, because yeah, for Canada it's like the first Monday of October, or maybe it's the second, I can't remember. But yeah, so of course that date changes depending. It does not want to get out of my way. Yes, I haven't been stitching in a fully diagonal direction lately because of the shape of these feathers, so yeah. Like I've said before, I could be really strict about it, but I find that would mean I'm changing colors more often and would probably end up with more live needles, which would make things a little more complex. Yeah, with this all this thawing, it's really loud now when people drive down the street because it was slush and people drove through it and it left tire ruts and then it froze. So yeah, you can really hear it when people go down the street. Goodness, there's quite a few sirens out there. Hopefully everybody's okay. Yeah, which the kiddo has been happy because he can drive his truck again. Now that it's warmer. Because yeah, like I've said, it's diesel and you can't use those when it's super cold. Like it was a few weeks ago, yeah. The minus 50. Yeah, it was interesting. My husband was saying that Toyota came out with a prototype of a car that runs on ammonia instead of gasoline, so that it reduces its carbon emissions by 90%, which is like, interesting. But the one drawback, of course, they're saying is if the fuel's ammonia, first of all, they'd need to, get similar distribution like they do for gas. And also, ammonia can be quite toxic. So, like, yes, gas can too, but if you inhale the fumes of ammonia, it's more, immediately toxic kind of thing. So there's that concern as well. So yeah, who knows if it'll ever catch on or not. Like I said, right now it's just a prototype thing. Because yeah, I was saying that's one of the drawbacks here where it's so cold, is they said electric cars, because it's on a battery, the distance they can drive is reduced when it's extremely cold. They said like up to 30%. And of course, charging also takes longer when it's really cold. So yeah, there's that drawback. Because yeah, like when we would go to visit family in the next province, it's a 15-hour drive and we do it in one day. If you're using an electric vehicle, you can't do that because you have to stop after a few hours and charge for like 3 hours. So yeah, unfortunately. That is one drawback. My pardon. Oh, not the greatest of sleeps last night. Yeah, I get about 2 nights of good sleep a week, unfortunately. Yeah, it's always been a problem. Just kind of have had to learn to live with it. Been to doctors and done all the changes they tell you you're supposed to do. They say stop drinking coffee after a certain point, but I stopped drinking it altogether. I don't look at screens before bed. I read, and yeah, try to keep a consistent bedtime. I get my exercise. Yeah. Apparently it's a pretty common thing with ADHD. Brain just does not shut off. Oh, no, I'm at the right place. Okay, for a second I thought things were wrong, but they were not. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see how far we get because it's a bit more confetti heavy here. Although as I get into the feathers, they sort of form scale shapes, and that means while there's some colors, there are a bit of bigger blocks, so that can speed things up, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think I'll get as far across as I did this last month because I worked on the peacock's chest and that was like 5 colors. So yeah, those columns went by really fast, which was nice. Oh yeah. To say though, yeah, I can definitely tell the days are getting longer now. We're finally starting to get to a point where it's a little bit better. I still have to turn on the kitchen lights when I cook, but it's not as oppressively dark as it is like in December. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I think this is the edge of the hill here around the water. Yeah, so we'll see if I reach the garden wall or not. That would be pretty cool. I think if I do manage to make it to 100,000 stitches, then I will get into the wall again. But yeah, the halfway point is right about here. So we are more than halfway through this pass. So woohoo, which I started, I believe, early December. I wrote it down, so I'll have to look again. But yeah, I think it was early December I started this pass. So yeah, we'll see how long it takes. And I believe I have 9 total, and this is the 3rd pass. So yeah. So yeah, my husband asked, oh, so how long till this one is done? And yeah, I said probably another 2 years is the rough estimate. We shall see. Yeah, like I said, if I was working on this exclusively and I didn't do any work on Firefly, then it'd probably be about 18 months, but yeah. Yeah, and then my next project for the main piece is Deer Creek by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is smaller. It is 200,000 stitches exactly, whereas this one's over 300,000. Yeah, that one's easy to remember because it's 400 by 500 stitches, so yeah. Yeah, it's funny that that's now considered a small pattern to me. When I first started stitching, that would have seemed ginormous. I remember my first project was a little sampler or something, and it took me like a year to do. And like nowadays, yeah, it would probably have taken me like a month, 3 weeks. Yeah, but I was still learning then. Yeah, I still have it. I never washed or framed it. Well, I made it on a piece of cloth that was really too small to do anything with it because I didn't know that at the time. So there's like, you know, half an inch of fabric border. Yeah, so it's sitting in a drawer in my closet because, I mean, you got to keep your first piece, right? Even if you never finished it. Although I don't have my first piece of knitting that I ever made. Yeah, I made myself a little headband. And I did accidental short row shaping because I put it down halfway through a row and I picked it up and I had it turned around the wrong way and I didn't realize it, and so I knit back over, yeah, the half a row. Yeah, that was, I asked my grandma to teach me. My sister learned a bit too, but I don't think she still knit. She didn't really keep it up. Yeah. Although, yeah, my grandma didn't teach me all of it. She taught me how to cast on and the knit stitch and how to bind off. And then that's all I knew how to do for years. So it just made lots of squares and rectangles, pot holders and scarves and things. And then, yeah, after I got married, I got interested in it again. And I bought this kit from a craft store, instruction book, and it came with some needles and yeah, stuff like that, so stitch markers and things. So yeah, I taught the rest of it myself with the book. Yeah, and I was really into that for quite a while. I made a lot of sweaters and things. And I haven't really made a piece of clothing for a long time. Yeah, like my knitting that I've done over the last few years has been mostly blankets. Yeah, I'm almost finished the baby blanket that I mentioned in other videos. I'm on the very last repeat. So yeah, it's gonna be 8 squares because it's like a pattern of squares with hearts in them. So it's yeah, 8 squares high, and I'm working on that 8th one now. Yeah, I did a lot of it while I was watching figure skating. The nationals were on this last month, so yeah, it's kind of interesting to see who has decided to stay in the game for the next Olympic cycle and who has retired and who the new faces are. there we go. So I'm thinking, yeah, probably work to about here, and then I'm gonna drop down and keep filling in, because I am excited to stitch those vibrant colors. Yeah. Of course, yeah, with a full coverage, I mean, you have to stitch background sometime, generally, unless you have a really busy pattern. Yeah. Yeah, I saw one somebody was doing on Instagram. Oh, I cannot think of the person's name now, unfortunately, but they're doing one that's a big, like, Pokemon poster, and it's like basically every Pokemon character. It's like there's no background. Yeah. So yeah, it's a big project. Oh man, speaking of big projects, there was one place that they said doesn't do PDFs anymore. They only do kits. I can't remember what the designer is, but they have one that's like a old world map, and it's 2.4 million stitches, which is just like, holy cow, mind blown. Yeah. And it's a kit, so yeah, you can imagine it's not cheap, that's for sure. But yeah, like, I would imagine you would have to do that on a very small count to be able to get a piece of fabric that big, because that's huge. But yeah, someone was saying that, you know, Pattern Keeper even works on the big patterns, because yeah, they have that one loaded and it works. It's like, yeah, 2.4 million. I think, oh, they said it was like 300 pages or something like that. Like, holy mackerel. That is a lifetime project. Yeah. Like, geez, I can't even imagine, because I'm doing, like I said, my Firefly is over 500,000, but that means it's like, yeah, like less than a quarter of the size of that one. So yeah, that's, holy, mind blown. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen anyone who's working on it. I've heard the pattern mentioned a few times. I'll have to go and look it up. Yeah. I know there's some people who are doing the Sistine Chapel ceiling, and so it was harder to get a piece of fabric. Yeah, they had to buy it by the meter because it's super long. Yeah, some pretty amazing works. Man, I'm just thinking, like, how much would that even weigh when it was done, with all that floss on that fabric, and then framing it? Holy mackerel. Yeah, my blue dragon, which was by Heaven and Earth Designs, is the last one that I traditionally framed. And my husband had to reinforce the frame, and he had to put special anchors into the wall so that it would actually hold it up, because yeah, it's heavy. Yeah, I was kind of frustrated, though. I ordered the frame online. You would give them the dimensions for the width and the height, and they send you the pieces. No glass, you have to get that yourself. So and then you assemble it. But yeah, I ordered it, and like after 3 weeks I didn't hear anything, no shipping confirmation, nothing. And I sent an email and said, you know, like, is there tracking info for this, you know? Got no replies after a week, so I opened up a dispute with PayPal, and boom, they had my shipping stuff showed up like in a couple of hours. It's like, okay guys, well, I'm not very impressed that I had to open a dispute to get a response from you. Like, yeah. But now I mount all my work on cloth, make them like tapestries, so I don't have to order frames anymore. Wow, like I said, because I work on 14 count, my pieces are huge. see what I get done in an hour. Yeah, yesterday I actually got like 200 done in an hour, which I was pretty happy with. But yeah, like I said, because the feathers kind of form like a scale pattern, it made almost like stripes. So even though it was a lot of colors, I didn't have to switch colors as often, which kind of helped speed things up. So this is a little further than I usually carry. It is still within an inch, so I'm just gonna pin stitch it to tack that down before I unthread it, because I'm definitely not gonna work that far over to the right. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Thought I had this color out. Actually, I'm gonna just check this one here. Right, that's a medium length, but yeah, I'm gonna have more than one thread here because of the way it branches off, so. Goodness. Oh, there we go. Okay. Had a bit of a knot in this thread and I thought I was going to have to cut it, but no, thankfully I was able to remove it. Nope, that did not. Yeah, pierced it, didn't go back down in the same spot. If that happens, then the loop can't there, pop to the back like it's supposed to. I'll leave that threaded for now. We'll see whether I'll still do some stitches with that color or not. Oh, actually, go back over here, yeah. Sure, I grab the correct thread because these blue shades here are very similar. Grid lines are definitely helping me not to mess it up here. Okay, I think this grid line will be where I cut things off. Oop, darn it, unthreaded it. There we go. Just gonna put another magnet up here. There. Oh, there's a knot back there. Okay. Oh yeah, on that last one I just parked. Oh, luckily I found it before I stitched through it. Because that makes it much more difficult to fix. Guess how I know? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I actually had that happen a couple weeks ago when I was working on Firefly. I had a big snarl on the back and I didn't catch it till I stitched through it. And, oh man. Yeah, it made this really hard big lump on the back, so I kind of couldn't leave it. And, because it would cause a problem when finishing it later, right? Because it was a big lump. It'd be like having a little, you know, rock or something attached to the back. So yeah, I had to do a lot of cutting apart, and actually I had to take the whole thing out of the stand because since it was on the back I couldn't do it. Yeah, I tried crouching underneath to do it, but that was just not happening. So I was not happy. Yeah. I did finally fix it though, so. And even after I picked back the threads that had been stitched through the knot, it was just yeah, it wouldn't come apart no matter what I did. Pulled on it so hard that I started grabbing in two directions and trying to pull it apart that the thread actually broke, which, yeah, doesn't happen very often, but yeah. And there was really nothing to do but to pick back and fix it. Okay, now I will come back to this part here. It's probably going to be a while before, yeah, I get to that thread again, so I'm just going to unthread it for now. Yeah, it's in the row below, and to get there I have to fill in all this stuff to the left of it, so. back into the left corner again. Now we're into the tail colors again. Oh goodness. There we go. Keep on accidentally tying knots in my thread here when I'm trying to smooth it out. Four. Oh, gee, that's no good. That's when one strand ends up coming out of the eye of the needle there. You end up with that. So I got 2 strands, but yeah, this one is only going to be good enough for 1 stitch anyway, so no worries about juggling them both. I may need to add another one. We shall see. Goodness, there we go. Oops. Yeah, hands get dry in the winter and the threads stick to them more easily, I find. So far, I've managed not to do them out of order, although that may happen soon. Just making sure there wasn't a knot there. It almost felt like it. This is one where it's kind of hard to see what the picture is supposed to look like when you're up close. You have to really back up to see it. Oh, pardon me. Okay. Yeah, again, we're going to have more than one thread here. Okay, so we'll do a different thread up there, yeah. Pardon me. Yeah, even though I don't have any small ones, but it's far enough away from the other thread that I have parked right now that I don't want to jump back and forth across the back. It'll waste more thread. Plus this piece probably wouldn't be big enough anyway. So it just makes sense to attach another thread. At least to me it does. I said I wouldn't manage 200 an hour, but got pretty close to that. Yeah, not too bad. Okay. Another color I'm gonna pull, put in my working tray. Goodness. Sometimes when you're trying to separate the strands right at the bottom, just when you're about to pull one free, yeah, they kind of grab each other and hold on for dear life. Ooh. Well, I said I was almost at 94,000 completed. I see I'm 25 stitches away from that, so. Okay, 37, 66, which I don't have out. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of switching colors here, but I do like the fact that when I'm done a section, there are no missing ones to fill in later. Oh, is that a knot? Something feels Not right there. Hang on a minute. Okay. Wow, I think it's just about time to take a break anyway. Oh, it's not in this thread. Ah, rats. Okay, hang on a sec. Happened a little while back. I can tell. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, I think it is in this thread. It just, yeah, happened earlier. Oh, rats. Okay, in that case, yeah, it's been stitched through with this one. So I'm gonna have to pull that back a bit. Okay. Yeah, I can feel that's something's not right there. Oh yeah, there it is. I can see it's got a loose bit here. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to pull back and fix this a bit, but I'm not gonna do it on camera. Because, yeah, I might have to take this out of the frame to do that, so this is where I'll call it a day, even if it's not the the nicest, neatest ending. But yeah, anyway, thanks for joining me today, and hope to see you here next time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.